Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm with you today here the first day of the last week of the month of June. Now, by the end of this week, we will be halfway through the year 2022. That's an amazing thought. And the idea that I've been sharing these devotions now for well over 2 years, I find to be amazing. I appreciate you listening. I really do. And this week, I'm just going to pick some random scriptures to talk about and share some thoughts. And I want to begin today with Micah chapter 7 and verse 7. Now, Micah is a small prophet in the Old Testament, and you are more familiar with Micah chapter 6. What does the Lord require of you? And it says that. So today, I want to look at chapter 7 and verse 7. See, easy to remember. Here's what it says. As for me, this is the prophet Micah. As for me, I look to the Lord for help. I wait confidently for God to save me. And my God will certainly hear me. Okay, what is this talking about? Well, in the first place, Micah says, as for me. In other words, I don't really care what other people do. My choices are not based on others' choices. It's based on what I decide. And that's true of all of us, at least at some level. We all make our choices. Sometimes we make good ones and sometimes we make bad ones. And sometimes even if we don't choose, well, that's a choosing. If you're going to go out to eat, you can't choose where to go, so you don't go anywhere. Then you chose not to go out to eat. So Micah says here, as for me, I look to the Lord for help. Now, Micah is acknowledging the fact that he needs help. For some people, that's hard to do. They're so independently minded, they think that all they need is themselves. And maybe there are a few folks who live a whole life like that. There aren't very many of them, if there are any. And usually we find ourselves at some point where whatever has happened, we can't fix it. I'll give you an illustration. I like to fix things, and I fix things around the house. I have done it for years. I'm not a professional contractor. I'm not a carpenter. I'm not a plumber. I'm not an electrician, but I can do all of those things. And in the years past, I have done them. I never built a whole house, but I built a pretty good part of one once. And maybe it didn't turn out the way everybody or the professionals would have said, but it turned out really well. And I liked it, and people who came liked it, what they saw too. But now I've got a problem. It's called two knees that don't work like they used to. So I can't work on something where I have to get down on my knees. Now, if you don't have this problem, then you haven't figured that out, what a pain it is, literally, to not be able to do that. So I have some projects around the house that I can't fix. So I'm teaming up with my wife. She doesn't know how to do it, but she's got two good knees. So together we make quite a pair, and we'll get it fixed. But there are some things that only God can fix. Relationships, some diseases, some other kinds of issues, the rift in our country of people who hate this group and those who hate the other group. We can't really fix that. Only God can. And so Micah says, I look to the Lord for help. Really and truly, if you want to be honest about it, you ought to look to the Lord for help first before you do anything else. And instead, like so many folks, we turn to God as sort of a last resort. It says, well, okay, God, I did everything I can. Nothing works. Maybe you can do something. Well, think how goofy that really is. The creator of the universe, we're asking him to take over where we can't, as though we can. I mean, the absurdity of that is laughable. But we live that way many, many times, and we shouldn't. Micah says, for me, I look to the Lord for help, and I wait confidently. Now, waiting is not a characteristic that people in our culture are pretty good at anymore. We've been bombarded with instant, and we want things fast. We want things now. And we're so used to going to the store and be able to buy anything we want. When we get there and they don't have it, it's like, oh, how dare you not have this? I have driven 30 minutes to get here, and you don't have it. Many people in the world would walk 10 hours and be thrilled if they did have it. I hate to say it this way, but I believe we in the United States have gotten spoiled. God's goodness has been so good. Many times we take it for granted. But when we run across one of those moments that we can't fix, we're not alone. There is a fixer out there. It's called God. And Micah says, I wait confidently for God to save me. Wait, wait, wait. I understand I'm not a baseball player, but I understand that the good hitters wait for the right pitch. They wait until that pitch comes that they know they can smash. You take a quarterback, he waits for if you can, for the right moment to release the ball. And sometimes you think, oh gosh, throw the thing, hurry up, it's gonna be, and it's a matter of waiting. I don't know how you are about waiting, but I know many who aren't very good at it. But the psalmist, or Micah says here in this passage, I wait confidently because I know that God hears me. Do you know that God hears you when you ask Him, when you're in trouble? Do you know that God ears are listening for your cries? Well, they are. And I hope maybe this week you'll listen some and see what you hear. Well, thanks for listening today. Speaking of that, I really appreciate you giving me your time. If you have a need or a concern that I can help with or the church, let us know. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. You take care now. I'll be back tomorrow and share another thought. God bless you.